All right, we'll get started. Hi everyone, my name's Sam Trethewey. I'm the General Manager of SproutX, and it's a pleasure to be with you here tonight of our last pitch night for our 2017 cohort. Today marks a bit of a historic moment, we believe, for agtech. This is the completion of the first agtech accelerator program in Australia, which is an exciting time for both the tech industry and, of course, the agricultural industry. And we also think it's probably the biggest group of investors that have ever come together for agtech in Australia as well. We had a fantastic event last night in Melbourne, and with everyone here tonight, we're expecting an equally good one here this evening too. Firstly, a big thank you to our partners, Findex, Ruralco, the Victorian Government, National Farmers Federation, Artesian, the Meat and Livestock Donor Company, and AgriFutures. Also to our supporting sponsors, Ridley, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, AgFunder, and Allen's Accelerate. Without all of their support, SproutX would not be possible. Tonight's actually all about the startups. We have 11 fantastic pitches for you this evening. You will see no ideas presented to you tonight. You'll see businesses, real businesses with real traction. Some of them already have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of revenue, which is really, really exciting, and a few of them have got some of Australia's biggest brand names as clients already. We would ask for your help on two accounts. The first account would be to tweet. So we actually are live streaming this evening. We had a fantastic turnout last night, and we expect an even bigger one tonight with a national agricultural Twitter conversation called AgChatOz, and so we'll be streaming into their network. So just ask if you want to tweet us, that's our handle on the right, but of course please use those two hashtags. And the other way that we want you to help us is to help the startups. Andrew always says, if it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a nation to build an agtech ecosystem, and that's exactly what SproutX set out to do just under 2 years ago, is to build an agtech ecosystem in Australia through a number of events and initiatives and programs to try and build Australian agtech into something that is known and seen around the world as a great place to invest, as a great place for deal flow, but of course a more important one in encouraging our farmers and farmers abroad to become more and more efficient in their endeavours. If you have any interest in any of the startups, of course, after the program, they'll all be dotted around the room at their stations. We'd ask you to chat with them directly. You might be an investor, you might be a corporate partner, or maybe even a potential customer. I'm going to pass it on to Andrew now. He's the Accelerator Director of SproutX, and I said it tonight and I'll say it again. Andrew has done a fantastic job of pulling this program together. It's been an enormous effort. In our sector, it's never been done before. Ag's a bit of a different beast, and alongside Amir Nissan, he's really done an awesome job in pulling this cohort together, and we'll see the fruits of that this evening. So I'll throw to Andrew.
Thanks so much, Sam. And just for those investors in the room, just to let you know, each of the companies are currently seeking to be early stage investment companies, ESIC, so ESIC companies. And that's an incentive that's a new incentive that was created by the federal government, and it gives you a 20% tax offset for any investment made. And if you hold the investment from within 1 year and 10 years, there's no capital gains tax, no CGT. Separate to that, a lot of the startups are actually being very generously supported through or in the process of applying for grants with organisations such as Meat Livestock Australia Donor Company, who have been a huge supporter of SproutX, also Commercialisation Australia, and finally the R&D tax credit, which refunds 43.5% of our research and development. So there is some incredible incentives and support. Before we get onto the pitches, the format for tonight is 5 minutes each pitch. I'll introduce two teams at a time, and we do ask that if you do have any comments or feedback, please approach the teams directly at the end. So yeah, just in the interest of time, it's difficult for us to do 11 teams while also doing the Q&A. So yeah, without any further ado, I'd like to call upon the first two startups to give their pitches. So we have Carlos from FarmApp, and then we also have Damien from the WaterSafe team, and they're both pitching horticulture solutions. So Carlos, please come up on stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos, and I'm from Pharma. And currently, as we speak, Pharma is operating in 3 continents with more than $160,000 in revenue in the last 12 months. Let's begin. In Australia and around the world, managing pests and diseases can take as much as 40% of the final income for farmers. It's a big international problem and a tremendous amount of lost income for farmers. The issue is that pest management is incredible money and hasn't changed much in the last 60 years. Crop scouting is done with pen and paper. Pest spraying is literally a spray and pray, saturated with chemicals and how it works. And good luck analyzing that data. If there's anything is dodgy, and you cannot benchmark that against anything. FarmUp has solved each of these problems. For crop scouting, our integrated systems can automate that process with sensors and mobile applications, not only saving thousands of man-hours, but also helping farmers take actions on time. When it comes to spraying, we have smart maps to do precision spraying, and by focalizing applications, we tell the farmers exactly where the product needs to be applied, saving money on pesticides, but also getting rid of the nasty chemicals that are released in the environment. And finally, we are analyzing millions of tiny bits of data to help farmers make sense of it and facilitate decision making. FarmUp is simple to use and it looks great. Anyone can use it. You don't need a scientist for it. It has been created both for desktop and mobile. It really puts technology in the hand of every farmer. But don't take our word for it. Here is Hersey from Soncha Bouquet saying, FarmUp is incredible. I have saved over $100,000 a year in pest management alone. And here is George from Cortecas Farm in Australia, saying that FarmUp is good because you know where the problem is starting, so you can take actions on time. There is Olivia in one of our training sessions at Cortecas. It's because of the real value that FarmUp provides that we have been able to onboard clients from all around the world. And currently we have our hands full handling the number of inquiries that we are now receiving. In greenhouses alone, we are looking at a market of $2.4 billion a year. But because FarmUp can work on every type of crop, we are looking at $34 billion a year market. Our traction has been absolutely strong. In the last 12 months, we have done over $160,000 in revenue, and we are currently working with over 50 farms covering more than 2,000 acres of greenhouses alone. Each of these farmers are using FarmUp as part of their core activities on a daily basis. Underlying this, however, there are very strong fundamentals. Our average customer lifetime value is over $20,000 and is continuing to grow because of our cross-sell. And get this, we have zero churn. We have very sticky customers. They love our platform. We're still working with our first customer from 2 years ago. And our average growth month on month is over 20% and is continuing to grow. There are some other solutions out there in the market, but they are not only unaffordable, hard to implement, not as integrated as FarmUp, and very hard to use. FarmUp has solved each of these problems. That's why we are the best solution in the market. We have solved the management of pests and diseases. We have been able to achieve this because we have a fantastic team. Luis, our CEO, is a twice-exited entrepreneur with more than 10 years of experience building startups. And as the CTO, I'm a 12-year software engineer. We have also on board a huge experienced team who have helped us on all steps of the way. We are a growth company, and we are scaling. In the last 6 months, we redomiciled our business into Australia as part of the SproutX program. So we are not only global from day one. We have a robust and proven product. We have a huge market and an experienced team. But more importantly, our metrics are solid because we are delivering real value to farmers. We are looking to raise $1 million seed round, which will enable us to accelerate our growth trajectory by accessing new markets across the whole Australian horticulture industry. We'll be able to achieve this by expanding our business development team and by further developing our product to maintain our technological advantage. Speak to me afterwards. My name is Carlos, and I'm from Pharma. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Damien Zammit, together with my business partner Darryl Lyons, hiding in the back of the room. We're very proud to present WaterSave to you. In the last 6 months, we've generated $150,000 in revenue. And we have networks covering over 70,000 hectares of farming land. What are we doing? We're increasing farming profitability and we're helping farmers get their time back. So here's an example of a typical irrigated sugarcane farm. At the end of a 14-hour day, our farmers are tearing around for an hour and a half, turning these irrigation sets on. They then go and grab a few hours sleep, and then first thing next morning the whole process starts again. So we're wasting water, we're wasting power, and we're wasting precious time. Now right now, irrigation's consuming about 30% of farming revenues. And as we know, with the increasing costs of power and water, these costs are increasing for farmers and the pressure's increasing as well. So farmers really do need our help. They're physically exhausted, but they're also tired of bearing the brunt of anything that's happening in terms of farming outputs and the impact that may be happening on the environment. So we created WaterSave. Now using LoRaWAN technology, which is a low power, wide area network frequency, we can literally connect thousands of on-farm sensors, including end-of-row soil moisture sensors, flow meters, and micro weather stations to one central base station back on the farm. Now these sensors don't require SIM cards, so costs are much lower. Batteries are lasting 5 to 7 years, and we're getting a range of about 15 kilometres. Now this is where the business gets exciting. Not only are we enabling single farms to make them more profitable, but we're now commissioning entire regions. So up in North Queensland here, our network stretches across 800 farms, covering approximately 70,000 hectares. And this is the model that we're going to continue to duplicate moving forward. So what you're looking at here, this is the end user view and our system architecture. So as you can see at the end, we have what could be thousands of on-farm sensors pushing data through to one central base station on-farm and then up to the cloud. So by us integrating field and plant data, we can literally automate the whole irrigation sequence. And what that's doing for farmers is saving up to 30% off the irrigation costs. Now, why would you want to invest in WaterSave? Quite simply, we're right now commissioning the world's first fully automated LoRaWAN automated irrigation system. So there's an opportunity right now in the market. Additionally, in terms of, I said, just commissioning individual farms, we're enabling entire regions. Now we're taking a tech agnostic approach, which means we're building very powerful partnerships with hardware and software companies that might otherwise be competitors. So we've used irrigation as an entry point to market, identifying power and water as being big pain points in farms. But as we continue to enable regions, it means that our customers can continue to stack vertical smart farming solutions, many of which are being presented to you tonight. Now, revenues are generated through hardware and software sales. So once a region's been enabled, there's a network in place, a farm might just buy one individual sensor for $200, right the way through to a fully automated solution of $100,000. Regards to milestones, as I mentioned, we have already generated 150K in sales. By April next year, we'll be at 650,000. In the last 2 weeks, we've generated $80,000 in sales across 4 new regions. So the competitor landscape, because we've offered an affordable solution where our customers continue to vertically add more solutions, or they can also retrofit existing expensive solutions, we've set ourselves apart from competitors. And what's happening now is customers that do have those proprietary solutions are looking for us to stack more vertical solutions right across the farm. There's a really well-balanced team in place. So Darryl Lyons, my co-founder here, has managed large electrical contracts of 50 plus staff. This is my 3rd successful startup. And the tech team, at the hub of the tech team, we've got experience in hardware, software, and network development. We're here this evening seeking $750,000, which matched will take us to our $1.5 million raise. This will allow us to pull through 9 more farming regions and commercialise our business. We're WaterSave, we're saving water, and we're changing economies. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Damien and Carlos. I'm also happy to announce that the two teams, from getting to know each other in the program, they've actually formed an international partnership. So of course, FarmApp, we're from Colombia, they've got a lot of customers there, so they've agreed to help cross-sell the hardware solution from WaterSave all the way through to Colombia. So the projected revenue from some of the deals that they've already negotiated is projected to be at over $250,000. So that's a bit of a benefit, I suppose, of the collaborations which have occurred as a result of being part of SproutX. Next up, we actually have two protein-focused startups. We have Cameron from Think, and then Supriya from Out of Box Solutions. And I note that both of these teams actually started completely anew, completely from scratch when they actually started in the program. So I'll call upon Cameron to come up on stage.
Imagine, you're a farmer. Which of these two cows would you take to market? It doesn't take a trained eye to pick the better cow here. But could you imagine having to assess thousands of cattle to manage your stock? It takes a trained professional to properly body condition score any livestock. Known as BCS, it's time consuming, very expensive, and difficult to scale. The current alternative to measure livestock growth is using antiquated walkover weighing scales. They measure weight accurately, which is a great measurement for cattle performance, but they've got lots of problems in implementation. Meet Mick, a farmer from southern New South Wales. He regularly measures his cattle on walkover weighing scales, but last time he went to market, he took 440 cattle to market, and they were all slightly overweight, resulting in a 40 cent per kilo penalty. That was a $40,000 loss in just one sale. Why is it that a guy who's using current best practice gets stung 40K in one day? It's because the tools he uses are not up to the job. They're not only expensive to put in place in the first place, but they are also very expensive to implement, requiring a lot of manual labour. It's not just a problem for small farmers either. The guys at the big end of town, like Australian Country Choice, who provide 65% of the beef to Coles supermarket, are facing exactly the same problems. It is across all livestock industries. Riverlea are one of our largest pork producers. We know firsthand that they also are seeking a much better solution. Hi, I'm Cameron Leeson, CEO of Think. The opportunity to use technology and apply it to these sorts of problems is what drew my partner Mohammed and I into agriculture. We spoke with hundreds of farmers and we kept hearing a consistent story. There has to be a better way to measure livestock growth. And we realised, because BCS is a visual technique, if we use an intelligent camera, we can automate the process. Computers excel at complex tasks. They do things better, faster and cheaper. And worldwide, there's huge resources being poured into artificial intelligence. So we're leveraging that to produce the world's first livestock-specific artificial intelligence device. We're using computer vision and artificial intelligence to transform a camera into a low-cost, easy-to-use, and accurate tool for livestock growth management. Our revolutionary device will be placed in strategic locations around farms, and it will consistently and regularly measure objective data on livestock performance and growth. This will give a farmer the data they need to make intelligent decisions and accurate decisions, much improving their performance at market. We've formed a close relationship with Appian, who is an ASX-listed veterinary company. They've given us access to customer farms to test and refine our product in commercial environments. And it's a massive opportunity. We produce over $23 billion worth of meat from livestock every year. And the opportunity for Think goes beyond automating body condition scoring and removing scales. We can also directly target the $80 million that's being left on the table by farmers like Mick when they don't meet buyer specifications. Worldwide, we estimate it's over $10 billion addressable market for us. And what's most exciting about that? Right now, nobody else in the world is targeting this opportunity. I think they're all too busy building cars or something. We're serious about building a global business. I've had previous successful businesses in technology and marketing. My co-founder Mohammed is a very experienced deep tech entrepreneur. We've brought on Matt Pryor, who is an experienced agtech global leader. We're seeking $250,000 at this point to complete our MVP and continue our trials over the next 6 months. We'll multiply that using industry funds. And we've also got our trial partners in place already and developing a relationship with a research partner to help accelerate our research. In 2018, we're looking to raise up to $5 million to take on the US market and go global. Artificial intelligence is changing industries. Think are at the forefront of applying this technology to the livestock industry. We're looking for partners who want to come on that journey with us. I'm Cameron Leeson for Think. I look forward to talking to you later about how you can help us revolutionise livestock growth management with artificial intelligence.
Hi everyone, I'm Supriya, that's Jay. We are co-founders of Out of Box Solutions. And the product we are introducing today is Alfie, a smart selective solution for feral animal control. In Australia, the cost of feral animal problem is close to $1 billion every year. We spoke with farmers who lost 25 lambs in one night to fox attacks. They're a major threat to native species. Every night, over 1 million birds are killed by feral cats alone. Worldwide, the cost of this problem is close to $145 billion. And a major component of this cost includes the cost of resources and labor required to implement existing controls like trapping, baiting, and fencing. And the main reason why these controls are not effective is they're not selective in their nature. Capturing a wrong animal is often double the cost of capturing the right one. So we set out on a journey to build solution for this problem. We built prototypes after prototypes, field trial them to come up with Alfie. Alfie uses IoT sensors with machine learning. It integrates with existing controls. How it works is, it sits in the farm, it monitors for animal movements. Whenever it detects an animal, it takes an image, and that image is classified by an artificial intelligence module that sits inside the box. Only if it is a targeted species, it activates the control like trap or bait. 3 key benefits. It reduces the cost overhead associated with capturing a wrong animal. Farmers can take informed decisions about where to place their controls based on the captured data instead of relying on their judgment alone. And 3, protects the native species by making sure only feral animals are targeted. We are currently trialing this product with farmers in Victoria, and we got our first customer order from a company that makes traps for feral foxes and cats. Alfie is going to be integrated with their traps. We have commenced work with Parks Victoria with specific use cases focused on biodiversity scanning and conservation of native species. We are in discussion with suppliers like Ruralco to integrate our solution with existing products and tap into the vast footprint that they have. And all of this, right from problem identification to landing a customer, has happened in past 6 months as part of SproutX program. Both me and Jay, we come from technology sector. Jay grew up on a farm. Between us, we have years of experience for hardware, software, and engineering. We do have collaboration with local universities for access to additional skills. There are few competitors in this space. Our key advantage includes that the artificial intelligence module operates in an offline mode without relying on connectivity to cloud platform, which is where most of the other operators apply. And the more data you have, the more accurate software gets. We are ahead on the journey by a few months already. Our revenue model includes upfront cost for hardware and integration. And along with that, we have service charge on monthly basis. Currently, we are seeking 600K to develop the tech and design further, with an end output of universal plug-and-play model in mind. We are in discussion with MLA to co-fund this project, and after months of due diligence, we are at a final stage of approval for seeking approval for this 280,000 grant from MLA.
So our plan for investment is to seek $150,000 from 2 or 3 investors to begin with. And we have an agreement with Artisan to match that, which will bring it to $300,000. With MLA approving the grant of $280,000, the total investment will be close to $600,000. So you can see, with only $150,000 to begin with, we have a plan to actually bring it up to $600,000. But if you want to know more about Alfie, and if you actually want to know how Alfie can tell apart a Kelpie from a wild dog using the inbuilt machine learning capabilities, talk to us. My name is Jay, that's Supriya, we are Team Alfie.
Thank you, guys. And it's always a pleasure when we have guests come to SproutX to tell them that the team's both only just started 6 months ago. So they've made a tremendous amount of progress in these months, and following the customer validation, it's prototype after prototype, and iteration after iteration. So it's definitely been a hard slog. So moving away from the protein-focused startups, we have 2 horticulture startups coming up. Next up, we have Rowie from Tie Up Farming, and then Kim from Snaptrap. So Rowie, come on.
Hi everyone, my name is Roy and I'm from Tie Up Farming, and we're digitizing farming operation. I'm originally from Israel and a 3rd generation to a farming family. In the last 3 months, we've turned over more than $350,000. Now, before I go into the slides, I'd like to tell you a quick story. I was introduced to this farmer, which then I went to talk to him and told him what we're doing. Then he told me what they're doing. And then we touched on some costs. And all of a sudden, he walks up, goes to the other room, comes back with a check, and goes, "There you go, mate. Get it bloody done because we need it." In the last 20 years, we've been doing the same thing using pen and paper. 8 months after, and this farmer, who is, by the way, one of the biggest horticulture farmers in Australia, has managed to save more than $500,000. Traction. More than $350,000 in the last 3 months, as mentioned before. Genuine in the pipeline, we've got more than $1 million in sales, and Joe managed to save more than $500,000 in less than 8 months. A bit about our team, notably our CTO, Ran, who is from top technology elite unit from the Israeli army, and Sam, our data scientist, who is very smart, and our advisory board, Nitsa from Tradelines, one of the most reputable figures in the world in agtech, and Yaron, who is a reputable business person in the agriculture world, and Tal Netafim, CFO APEC, who is the biggest irrigation company in the world, which is the biggest irrigation company in the world. So, what is the problem? Today, there is no reliable data source for the horticulture industry that provides accurate yield forecast. It just doesn't exist. Yield forecast is in the heart of every agribusiness, and specifically in every horticulture agribusiness. They take decisions daily based on yield forecast. The loss is estimated in the trillions around the world. The horticulture market, more than $100 billion industry, and this is just in the US, more than $10 billion in Australia, and we're looking at more than potentially 30,000 potential customers. Introducing the solution, Tie Up Farming. It's a cloud-based solution providing on one platform practical tools together with precision ag tools. Precision ag tools being stuff like weather stations, soil sensors, disease modeling, and so forth. Practical tools being stuff like labor management, food traceability system, which is in the heart of Tie Up Farming solution. spray diary, and so forth. How do we do it? Very quickly. First step, we're digitizing every piece of paper. Second stage, QR barcodes and RFID tag. We're providing full traceability. Third stage, sensors. And fourth, providing very strong and sophisticated analytics to the agribusiness. So, tie-up farming provides us very accurate look about the past and present, real-time information, very accurate, but it also enables us to provide very accurate look about the future, yield forecast, introducing yield tie-up. It's a SaaS solution, standalone solution, but also provides back to the farmers as a bolt-in solution into tie-up farming software. The algorithm feeds from the vast amount of data we are capturing from tie-up farming software, from all the farms that tie-up farming is being used. That's what gives yield tie-up algorithm the strength and the accuracy. This solution will be provided to the likes of banks, insurance companies, and as mentioned before, back to the farmers. Competitive advantage. We are first in the market. We are boots on the ground, working with the farmers, and again, our unique business model, capturing real-time data from tie-up farming software. Competition. We're looking at some very interesting startups, many from the US, very well funded, but mainly focused on broad acre and using satellite imagery. No raw data coming in real time from the farms. Expansion plans. We're looking to go into South America and Southeast Asia in the next 2 years. Huge agricultural markets. A snapshot on few of our customers. You can see some big enterprise names there, but our core customer base is the medium to large agribusinesses. Touching on our metrics, notably our churn rate, very low churn rate. And you can also have a quick look about how it looks on the field. That's it, that's us. We're now starting to raise our seed funding. So if you're interested in what you hear in yield forecast, or if you're a farmer and you want to know more about tie-up farming, come and talk to us. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Kim from Snaptrap. We make systems for remote monitoring of pest insect traps. So I'm a third generation cherry grower and fruit flies really get up my nose. For us to export fruit, we have to dip them in chemicals or irradiate them and so on. These things wreck the fruit, wreck the price, and deny Australia its economic potential. Fruit flies cost Australian horticulture $300 million a year, and globally $30 billion of economic damage. There's the damage to the produce, but there's a tremendous amount of work involved with pest control activities. And then there's the suppression of trade opportunity. This jar is a standard fruit fly surveillance trap. It's been used for decades. It's mandated in technical standards and trade agreements. And we've added this box of electronics to the top. It takes photos, it records sensor data such as temperature, and then it uploads this information into our software platform. From there it's analysed and it's available for review remotely anytime. And we've decided to use these old traps to begin with so that we can avoid the regulatory obstacles that are involved with introducing something new, so that the friction against widespread adoption is greatly reduced. So we're doing three things. We are automating the information gathering and record keeping. We're eliminating wasted work such as travelling to visit and inspect empty traps. And we are optimising workflow with simple decision tools. So since starting at SproutX, we've had our first installations. We've had revenue over $10,000. We have our first biosecurity customer underway. We have $1 million in the sales pipeline, and we're preparing more trials with government and industry. We're the only one in the market that will retrofit to existing traps and existing systems. And we're also the only one that has that offers many use cases. So we can deal with any pest insect and any trap type. So going to market, we're focusing on the biosecurity space first. They have a great need for this kind of optimization, and they're a fairly simple use case for us to begin with. We see the existing sales channels as critical for us. The resellers have good relationships with our customers, and we have a lot to learn from the channel. So our business model is a simple subscription. The hardware is included. It's a lot like a mobile phone plan. And there are ongoing commissions for the resellers so that they can take the time to properly look after our customers. We've got a wonderful team for this job. We've got an experienced orchardist, an IT expert, a specialised electronics engineer, and all of us have delivered significant innovation projects across other industries. We also have a top-shelf advisory team, experts from pest management sales, entomology and biometry practitioners, and artificial intelligence. So to get this project properly airborne, we're raising $600,000. We need to carefully look after our early customers and arrange distribution. We need to refine our offering for growers because there's a lot of different types of growers, a lot of different scenarios. We'll begin to deal with other pests, insect pest types, and other trap types, and that'll set the scene then for global distribution. So here's a basic budget breakdown on the cost side, split across hardware and software refinements, marketing systems, and customer care systems. So I hope if you're an investor with an interest in this space, please come and speak with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rowie and Kim, and it's great to see both teams have got some significant traction. So next up, when it comes to agtech, we have a lot of people that ask, what sort of agtechs do you have? And it's a little bit difficult to describe because the field of agtech is constantly growing. So I'd like to invite Phil and Mel to come up from Bloombox, and then after that, Caleb from Aplan.
What if I told you that one of the most beautiful things in your home or office was also one of the most wasteful? Making good decisions when it comes to buying flowers is actually really hard. The bulk of the most popular varieties, like roses and orchids, are flown 13,000 kilometres from the other side of the world. They're grown in places like Colombia and Kenya, in farms with often questionable working conditions, and can be laced with dangerous chemicals. As a parent and a consumer, I care about what I bring into my home. And I also care about the impact that my purchases make on the planet. We're here to tell you that there's a better way. Hi, I'm Mel, and this is Phil. We're the co-founders of Bloombox Co, and we deliver beautiful, environmentally friendly field-to-vase flowers to your door each week. We do this in a way that supports local growers and minimises waste. We do this through a membership model, delivering beautiful flowers on repeat. We don't hold any stock, and so we produce hardly any waste. We work with the seasons, which means that our customers get freshly cut flowers that last longer and smell great. And we really focus on delivering a beautiful end-to-end experience. It's hard to imagine, but the flower industry is worth over $80 billion worldwide, and in Australia it sits at just under $1 billion. The crazy thing is that most of the industry is geared towards marketing to the male gift buyer, when we know that women actually spend more in this category.
But that's where we differ. We aim at the female market, and we've grown a strong community of over 115,000 predominantly female followers online. We have a unique value proposition that's about local and environmentally friendly flowers, and we understand, most importantly, that flowers are also about lifestyle and your interior space. They're not just a gift. It's been a whirlwind couple of months, and since joining SproutX, we've 4x'd our revenue and grown paying subscribers by 23% month on month. With a new focus on paid advertising channels, we now have a profitable conversion funnel with an average member spend of $431 and a cost of acquisition of just under $100. Prior to SproutX, we were only doing organic marketing. With the capital injection, we now have a system that brings in paid leads and converts them profitably. But that's not all we're doing about growth. We're excited to announce our new partnership with realestate.com.au to jointly produce an ongoing lifestyle content series that's all about flowers. This helps us market to REA's huge audience and customer base. And in the partnership pipeline, we're also speaking about a joint flower offering with one of Australia's largest furniture retailers. Outside of marketing partnerships, we're also discussing corporate opportunities, and we're negotiating a flower solution for a flagship real estate agency brand to brighten all their new listings with local and environmentally friendly flowers. We're changing the way the world gets flowers by growing the pie and our slice of this $80 billion global industry. We're a growing company and we'll be looking to raise capital at the end of Q1 next year to help fuel our growth and continue to scale. So if you'd like to come bloom with us, please come and have a chat to us after the pictures tonight, because we'd love to start that conversation with you. I'm Philomena, this is Melissa, and we're Bloombox Co.
Okay. Okay, I'll be back. You're right, sorry, it's the Twitter feed's on, mate. Okay. That's fine. Gotcha.
Hi, my name is Caleb and I'm the founder of The Plant. Our goal is to grow the fresh food aisle in homes. The way that we're going to do that is with a tree. A tree is the world's first self-irrigated aeroponic vertical garden that grows fresh berries, salads and herbs in homes all year round. Meet Mary. She's a busy stay-at-home mum from Melbourne. She is a health and environmentally conscious mother who wants to feed her family local, fresh, organic produce. Through our customer discovery journey, we've discovered that she often pays a premium for her organic produce. The reason why is because she has some real concerns around her food supply chain. And like myself, she's gone out, she's tried to grow her own produce only to see her plants die. Our solution is a tree, a low maintenance vertical garden that has been designed for the urban environment. What a world of difference could come about if we all grew some of the food that we ate. This is a tree. A tree grows more with less. It grows higher yields, shorter growth cycles, all while using 95% less water. And we don't even need to use chemicals on a tree. Not only does Mary now have an endless supply of fresh produce, she actually gets to grow her investment back on a tree in little under a year. This may sound like a radical solution, but with advancements of technology, we as consumers are no longer at the mercy of the industrial food system, where the price of LED lights has dropped more than 500%, but at the same time has doubled its efficiency. So growing indoors will soon be more efficient than growing plants outdoors. Undoubtedly disrupting not only the Australian home growers market, but also the organic industry on a global scale. A plant's business model is underpinned by 4 pillars. The first one being hardware, a tree. The second one being consumables, nutrients and seedlings. Third, education. Fourth, we have service add-ons like mentoring service. And this is why we stand apart from our competitors, because our competitors are focusing on small tabletop herb gardens, which don't grow a lot of food. And on the flip side of the spectrum, we have large factory farms that require complex supply chains. A tree, we plant a tree in homes, and people can grow food in abundance with ease. Since being part of SproutX, we've not only developed our MVP, we've learnt about product development and manufacturing and how hard the process actually is. But because we are an implementation-focused team first, this is actually our 4th iteration. It's fully functional and it looks beautiful, but there's always room that we could do better. On top of product development, we've surveyed over 300 mums at the Royal Melbourne Show. We've created an ebook that over 1,600 people have signed up for, and we have a community of 5,000 strong ready to learn more about a tree. We're at the stage right now where we are at our final product development, where we're collecting all the feedback that we've collected over the last 6 months to make our final iterations to bring a tree into the marketplace. In preparation of our product launch, I've needed to, we have a 2-pronged strategy. The first prong is our partnerships with our corporate property owners that are interested in the vertical farming value proposition. And the second, we're on track to launch our consumer Kickstarter campaign at the end of Q1 of 2018. To bring a plant to life, I've needed to assemble a team that is much smarter than myself. We've combined both the horticulture and the technology sector to provide an end-to-end knowledge and expertise to bring a plant to life. To achieve this, we're looking to speak to investors that see vertical farming the way that we do, the future of food production. We believe that growing your own plants is like printing your own money. So we encourage you to be part of something revolutionary. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And it's always interesting, on a personal note, just to learn about the innovative new technology that could actually disrupt the existing systems. So on the topic of some different business models, I'd like to call up Matt from IOTAG next, and then after that, David from AgUnity.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Peterson. I'm a country vet, I'm a cattle farmer, and I've created a system that enables farmers to manage their livestock remotely. Because farming's bloody tough. There are so many risks that we struggle to manage on a day-to-day basis, and they're so time-consuming that it just creates enormous inefficiencies in our farming systems. I'll give you an example of Tom. He's a farmer that I service in southern New South Wales. He runs 1,000 breeding Angus across 200 square kilometres. Every year he loses $50,000 worth of cattle. He turns them out and he never sees them again. Reproductive failure in his herd cost him 180 grand at the weaner sales this year. And like most of us pastoralists, we know we can do a lot more with our land if we have better tools to manage our pasture. And so the solution to problem number one's pretty obvious, which is GPS tracking. The solution to number two, to manage his reproductive cycle better, is automated health and breeding alerts so it can be much more responsive to issues as they're occurring. And the solution to number three, which is managing pasture better, is using heat maps, which is a functionality that we've built, which will enable farmers to manage their pasture a lot better. So we're making this happen already. See, the important thing to know about our company is that 6 months ago when we came into this accelerator program, we were just a team with an idea. And today, that team has got our solution working and deployed on 2 farms. We've got over 1,000 square kilometres of LoRaWAN network coverage through southern New South Wales and northern Victoria. Our farmers are using the software that we built in the first 3 months of this program to manage their cattle remotely. And by the end of the year, we'll have over 100 sensors in the market through Queensland and New Zealand, with 2 more deployments to come. And that's brought us $40,000 in the bank. One of those clients is LIC in New Zealand. They service 95% of the New Zealand dairy market. So we're really excited to have them on board. We've got 2 other commercial farm customers down in southern New South Wales, and we've also got corporate and government partnerships who we believe are really important to leverage this technology into the market. And we've done that because we've got a really good team and we focus on getting really good internal capacity among animal health, vet, farmer, data scientists, software engineers. And so we now have a team that manages this solution from end to end. And so how it works, right now we're a collar-based system that we strap to the cattle. That transmits data over 10 kilometres back to a gateway, a LoRaWAN gateway, which you've been told about tonight. That'll be the default IoT protocol that farmers will use going forward. Relays it via the cloud to a mobile or web application so that farmers can truly manage their cattle remotely. And with just that, we provide Tom with a solution for about 1/10 of the cost, $25,000 that I described to you before. We've also got a pipeline of customers who are feeling the same pain who are keen. Like Jen Medway, she runs 20,000 sheep in northern New South Wales. So I know you're probably thinking, oh, you guys are doing another Fitbit for cows. That's been done, right? Now, the really important thing to understand here is that all the Fitbits for cows that are commercially available right now focus on the intensive and indoor farming space. They work well in dairy farms, in freestall barns, things like that. But there's nothing that's available. There's nothing Tom can buy right now that's commercially available that suits his needs in pastoral and extensive farms. And so what he needs is GPS tracking with automated health and breeding analytics, and he needs it to work across farms that are measured in square kilometres. There's nothing. We are one of the first to market. We're a market leader in this space. Now, our business model will be going through traditional retail channels so that farmers are buying the products, or our products, through their trusted network. And we'll have a pricing structure it'll be a freemium model where farmers buy our solution and they have core functionality included for free. And then as we bring new features to market, there'll be a tiered and feature-based pricing model. And throughout that time, we've developed partnerships with people who we believe are really key to making this happen. An example of that is Helios Wire. They're a satellite company who will backhaul our data out of anywhere. And so, because Telstra's not helping us, we're going around them. So for the next 18 months, what we really need to do, we're focusing on ramping up our hardware performance. This is the tracker that we've got at the moment. We need to turn it into an ear tag. And we need to get it at about a price point of $35. We need to enhance and validate the key algorithms, work on some software, and we're also integrating things like water trough sensing, tank sensing, because if you really want to be comfortable laying in bed at night that your livestock are okay, you need that. You need those sensors as well. Once we've done that, we know that there's a big market to go and get, and so to do that, we need $750,000. Now that's our total round, and that'll include the co-contribution that other teams have spoken about. And that'll be spent fairly evenly across the three pillars that I described to you before. So right now we're creating products for the livestock market, but there are 22 billion human-controlled animals in the world, and so soon we'll also be going into pets, the racing industry, and potentially the 10,000 plus endangered animal species out there as well. That's our passion's in veterinary work. So by investing in us, you'd be investing in a global leader in animal tracking. And for the time being, you'd be helping Tom. Thanks very much.
So g'day, I'm David Davies, founder of AgUnity, and in the last 6 months since we started at SproutX, we have profoundly changed hundreds of people's lives, like enabling them to get light in their home for the first time ever. And we do that in a way that is profitable to us and scalable to millions of farmers. Funny enough, this started at a hackathon. We were trying to come up with the biggest idea we could in order to win a prize. We focused on the billion poorest farmers in the world, families with only a couple of acres of land that survive on a few dollars a day. In our pilot, to understand their challenges and ensure it really helped them, we did something special though. We went out and spent months living and working together with farmers in some of the most remote rural communities all around the world. In our pilot projects in Kenya and Papua New Guinea, we managed to increase the average farmer income by 3 times in a single season. And we didn't use any expensive technology or magic beans to do that. The problem we solve is so simple, Australian farmers haven't faced it in over 100 years. It's a lack of trust and cooperation. Because our time in the village, we learnt that the major thing holding these farmers back is the inability to cooperate, to share equipment, and buy and sell together. Our simple smartphone and blockchain application enables farmers to plan, trade, and share equipment securely. So when I, the farmer, hand my cocoa beans to you, the cooperative, or share the use of the seeder or the harvester, there's a secure record to ensure that everybody gets paid. This is Maruki. He's one of our wheat farmers from Kenya. The commercial wheat farms in the area, they get about 26 bags per acre. Last year, Maruki got 6. But this season, by sharing equipment and harvesting together, he got 15. Before Ag Unity, these farmers never had a mobile phone, and they never really had any spare income. And now they have over $1,000 a year extra on average. That's life-changing. Hedges is one of my favourite guys here. We're doing something really interesting around food provenance. So that bar of chocolate has a QR code on it, and we trace the chocolate right back, chocolate to supplier to shipment, and right back to Hedges, so you can see a video in his farm, family and farmers, so you know the exact provenance of food. When we presented our idea right back at the hackathon, Gates Foundation were there, and they and other NGOs have loved this idea and want to run major projects with us. The NGOs fund us to provide $20 smartphones with the AgriLedger app to the farmers, all for free. We have 16 projects in 12 countries in our upcoming pipeline. Our business model is a bit special. We don't try to make money from farmers up front. We actually give them a free phone. But then after we've increased their income, Ag Unity becomes the exclusive platform for them to buy products and services like solar lighting, farm supplies, cattle ear tags, and be able to get microloans and insurance directly from the application. Quick run through of a revenue model example. We have 100 farmers in New Guinea. They just spent $25,000 on solar lighting alone. That nets us $2,500 to Ag Unity. And with all those NGO projects, we have 100,000 farmers in our pipeline from the NGO deals alone, and we're looking at about 1 million farmers by 2020. So this is our penance. I'm an evil banker. My co-founder's an evil lawyer. We've had two companies together before, and we've both had a successful exit before. And we've got a really experienced and diverse team that spend countless hours on this project because they believe it's something that could really change the world. So far we've done all this on $300,000 seed round from Utopian and a bit from Artesian. We're currently 780,000 confirmed, so we're looking for a remaining 200,000 for our $1 million second seed round. And that will get all the fundamentals in place because Ophelia is already setting up our next $8 million round for around the middle of next year. And Ophelia, here we go.
I'm from Utopian Venture, Hong Kong. I'm a self-made multi-billionaire, and I invested in AgriLedger because I sincerely and firmly believe that they are going to change and help a lot of our farmers out there that need their help in order to make the world a more sustainable environment for us to continue our human civilization. And they have the knowledge, the expertise, the visions, and the directions to make sure that this project is going to be a huge success.
So if you'd like to be part of an investment that is going to be very big, but also is doing something profoundly good in the world, then please, I suggest grab some of the last bit of the current round because it's only going to get bigger. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, David and Matt. And it's really good to see an agtech that's not just an agtech, but it's also in another vertical, which is one of my own personal passions, fintech. So it's at this point I'm happy to announce a collaboration that's going on between IOTAG and AgUnity and 3 of the other teams. So they're actually going to create a separate entity, and they're licensing their technology, their software, and a separate CEO is going to come in to run that. So that just demonstrates the level of collaboration between the teams, and I suppose to an extent, the unexpectedly how much of a platform SproutX itself has become for agtech. So for the final pitch, we have Chris Balaz from Farmgate MSU, and he'll finish up on a protein-focused startup.
Lucky last. Hi, I'm Chris from Farmgate MSU, and with the backing of the MLA donor company and a co-funding agreement to the tune of $688,000, we are bringing a new category of meat to the Australian public, ethical meat. I'm a farmer from southwest Victoria. I produce premium quality cattle and I sell that meat direct to my customers, paddock to plate. The truth about my customers love the product that we produce for the animal ethics, the quality and the provenance of the product that we produce through the system of paddock to plate. The truth of paddock to plate, however, is actually paddock to truck to abattoir to butcher to plate. I know we can do better. As a farmer, live transport and lack of access to abattoirs is a real problem. It adds costs and it reduces yield. And worse, as a passionate animal welfare advocate, it creates stress in the animals that we work so hard to produce and often can result in eating quality. So like any farmer with a problem, I'm bloody well going to do something about it. I introduce to you Australia's first truly mobile on-farm processing unit, which is the enabler for us to create this new category of meat, ethical meat, which will be branded under our own brand, Provenance. Provenance will be synonymous with highest animal welfare, eating quality, and will guarantee our customers provenance and traceability. So how does it work? The modus operandi is really pretty simple. The MSU unit arrives on the farm, where we directly buy the livestock from our network of farmers. From there, the animal is processed on the truck in a calm, stress-free environment. It is then transferred to our hub through refrigerated transport, where it is further butchered, packaged, labelled under our brand Provenance, and then sold through the sales and distribution channels you can see. The whole system eliminates live transport. The traction we've had from premium quality livestock producers has been astounding. They can see the excellent value proposition that we present from having the processing occur on the farm, and coupled with that, it's respecting the animal welfare that so many premium quality livestock producers care so much about. We've had fantastic support from industry-leading chefs, the likes of Guy Grossi, Stefano, Matthew Evans, who are keen to support us and are wanting to put ethical meat on their menus. We've also had support from industry bodies such as the RSPCA, who can see the obvious animal welfare benefits of having on-farm processing. Here you can see the team. We've got the drive and the experience to make this happen. And if you have a look at the skill sets that we've got up there, it's exactly across the supply chain that we're just about to disrupt. But of course, we can't do this on our own. We've had great collaboration and industry support. And as we mentioned, we have the co-funding agreement with MLA Donor Company, which is going to launch this project. We've also been forging international collaboration with the world leaders of this technology in Sweden, a company called Helsing. Now, in 3 years since they created the mobile processing unit in Sweden, they've already captured 1.7% of the Swedish market at a price premium of 30% above retail pricing. And back here at home, our design, specifically created for the Australian environment, has no direct competitors. Right now, there are no other truly mobile, on-farm processing units in existence, we will be the first to market. Looking at the size of the market, it's truly astounding. The red meat national industry size is $10 billion per annum, with the average person consuming 30 kilograms of red meat per annum. So we will be a niche market to start with. So we're looking at the welfare conscious consumer, the one that actually puts the value of animal welfare into their purchase decision of the meat that they eat. Often referred to flexitarians, they're estimated at 4.2% of the market at the moment, and that's growing year on year. Our label Provenance will assure them of the animal ethics and the eating quality of what they're spending. So, looking at the projected revenue, as you can see, the scale that we're operating there with the average retail pricing, we'll have a revenue of $12.4 million per MSU and hub, with end-to-end supply chain revenue. We've mapped our launch runway. Within 10 months, we'll be lining the shelves and gracing the menus of the premium meat producers, meat outlets across Australia. So looking at our growth strategy, it's entirely scalable through a replication process. A 3-to-1 ratio of MSUs to hubs can be expanded up the eastern seaboard. The ask that we have for launching this project is $1 million, with the co-funding agreement with MLA takes the total seed round to $1.3 million. They'll enable us to build, validate and operate. So if you're a smart money investor with an appetite for changing the red meat industry, talk to me, Chris from FarmGate. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Chris. And that's it for the pitches tonight. Just at this point, just wanted to remind the audience that if you are interested in any of the startups, from an investment, or if you can think of any friends or businesses or corporates that may be interested, feel free to hit them up directly. For those online, we of course are on Twitter, so feel free to just send us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So just a reminder, we do have the AgChat Oz channel focused on SproutX tonight, so we'll be busy on our phones twittering. Just before we wrap up, and I'll get Sam to wrap up, I'll just call Rob Williams from Artesian to just have a few quick words around the SproutX Venture Capital Fund. Artesian have been some excellent partners of ours, and they've very generously helped us to set up a $10 million venture capital fund that they're helping to manage. So thank you, Rob.
Thanks very much for that, Andrew. And welcome everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's showcase of emerging agtech opportunities in Australia. So my name's Rob Williams and I'm a director at Artesian Venture Partners. For those of you that haven't come across Artesian before, we're an alternative investment manager that's been investing in venture capital since 2009. As we stand here today, we're managing in excess of $250 million in funds under management. So Artesian is a proud partner of SproutX and acts as the investment manager of the SproutX Venture Capital Fund, as Andrew mentioned. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But firstly, I wanted just to say a big thank you to Sam, Andrew, Julia, the SproutX team and their partners for making tonight possible. And while I'm at it, I also wanted to just say a big thank you to all of the teams that are presented tonight. I think you all did a fantastic job and Artesian is very proud to be partnering with you, so thank you. So as I mentioned, Artesian acts as the investment manager of the SproutX Venture Capital Fund, which has been set up to invest in agtech companies coming through the SproutX program. The fund invests at seed and follow-on stages in those companies and has been created to establish a portfolio of a large-scale portfolio of diversified agtech startup opportunities in Australia. So from our point of view, we just want to mention the fund is still open for investment. So for anyone that would like to learn a little bit more about that opportunity, or in fact hear a little bit more about Artesian and what we do, feel free to come and have a chat after the proceedings this evening. I'll be around, as will a couple of the Artesian partners, Jill Plant and Luke Fay. So look forward to chatting to you. with that, I'll pass across to Sam Trathui just to wrap up proceedings tonight. Thanks, Sam.
That's pretty much it. I just wanted to, I suppose, add a couple more quick points before we break out and have some more food and nibbles. Again, a huge thank you to our team. Julia's done an amazing job. She's been the glue that's held usually Andrew and I together, but the whole cohort and everything that we've been doing together. So she's done a wonderful job, and I wanted to thank Jules for that. I hope you really enjoyed what we had to show this evening. The agtech ecosystem and industry in Australia is very much in its infancy, and whilst everyone looks to Israel and Silicon Valley, to their credit, they've raised trillions of dollars in early stage startups, and they've got their own kind of cultural differences. We're wanting to really promote that distinctly Aussie flavour. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but we're really looking forward to being around that as it grows and hoping to offer more and more international opportunities for our ag tech. So thanks very much. Come and say good day and enjoy the food and drink. Cheers.